It's Carter, host of the #1 political activist podcast in America, Coffee with the Carter Man. Check it out. YouTube, Rumble, Truth, Getter, Twitter, across the board. Check it out. I think you'll like it. And right now, as the Carter Man, you can see I'm in my basement here. I want to talk to you about those who build and those who destroy, okay? Now, I'm in the basement here, and you can see I turned it into my weight room. You've seen that before. Over in the distance, you see my wife's treadmill. And pretty soon, we're going to be remodeling the basement, upgrading it, building. Now, when we moved into this little home here, we could have just filled it with junk and just essentially destroyed it, made it useless. But we decided to go the opposite direction. First turn it into our weight room, and then turn it into part of it the weight room, part of it a club room. Getting underway pretty soon. I want you to think of where we are in the world today. Because right now in the world, we're waiting for a builder to come in, take power in the United States, and rebuild our country, which is in ruins, okay? I'm referring, of course, to Donald Trump. He's a builder. His whole life has been building things, making things better. Unfortunately, he is right now being obstructed and ostracized and having his hands tied now, and they're hoping in the future by destroyers, okay? By a group of men who are intent upon destroying everything around them so badly that even before the builder comes in, they have left ruins in their wake, okay? I'm speaking, of course, of Joe Biden, Starmer, the Prime Minister of England, and Macron, the ghastly little midget Prime Minister of France. What they're doing in this proxy war that they are fighting in the Ukraine, it's them. It's Zelensky is a nasty little grifter puppet, okay? It's always ever been. You know, a former porn comedian who they stuck in office because they knew he is so greedy. He is so greedy and debased and debauched that he will do anything to pad his pockets and glorify himself. So they found the right guy, didn't they? You know, after all, when you take your wife in the middle of a war, when your soldiers need supplies, and buy her a $5 million Bugatti with money given to you by the United States, part of the trillion we've given, and it is a trillion. You're a pretty vile human being. But he's not the one pulling the trigger. The ones pulling the trigger are determined to plunge this world into war before Donald Trump can come and build the peace. That's where we are, and we all better damn well face it. When Biden gave that order last week to his generals to start launching the attackums, followed by the Prime Minister of England launching his Storm Shadow missiles, and now Macron announced today he's getting ready to launch his scalpers into Russian territory at the 12 cities in Russia that have 1 million or more population. That was for one reason and one reason only, to make absolutely certain on behalf of the globalists and the munitions makers that Donald Trump cannot bring that war to an end. Trump said he could do it, and frankly, I believe him. Trump's a pretty good deal maker. That's what he's done all his life. He made some damn good deals when he was president before, and I believe he could have done it. They believe he could do it too, which is why they are now trying to set the stage for World War III. Make no mistake about it, when Putin said that all that Ukraine is a satellite country, he was exactly right. owned and operated by mostly the United States, but also France and England. And when he said our war, essentially he said our war is not with Ukraine, it's with the United States, it's with England, it's with France, and to a certain extent Germany. Folks, he was right. Hate him if you want, but trace the history of the war in Ukraine and you'll find that he was left with no choice by the United States, England, and France, and Germany, but to try to defend his own territory, just as we did in the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. So that's where we are now. We have decided to escalate this thing at this time for one reason, and that's to prevent the builder from making the peace. That's it. That's it. It was a done deal. Trust me when I tell you it was a done deal. And that's why all of a sudden out of nowhere, Biden, Stormer, whatever his name is in England, Macron, gave that little rat Zelensky the okay. Start launching the missiles deep in the Russian territory. Kill as many of them as you can. And let's see if we can trigger a wider war. It's sick. It's sick and it's sinister. And it's what happened. It's what happens when those who want to ruin step in the way and step all over those who want to build. So contact your congressmen, contact your senators, tell them we're not going to stand for it. We voted for peace on November 5th. We're not going to stand for this feeble, demented old man to wage war before he staggers off into the sunset. Folks, it's time to be tough. Let's do this thing.